Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. Saying good morning to all of you. I hope it's a really wonderful Sunday morning. And it's the Car Chronicles. And I was supposed to bring it to you on Friday, but so busy. So today we make it a Super Soul Sunday. So here we are. It's very early. I'm actually driving to New York. So today I'm being driven. So this is fantastic by a wonderful and fabulous and fantastic man. So here we go. You know, I was actually having a conversation with somebody about 6 days ago. And after I was done with the conversation, she called me several days and said, Kumba, this is a Car Chronicle, and you have to be able to talk about this. She called me up, and you know, if you really notice, in most of the things that I say, or the podcasts that we have, the emphasis is always on you. The emphasis is always on you, never about anybody, never about what other people are doing to you. But also there's circumstances that are beyond our control. Circumstances that we also happen to be in that position. But we put also ourselves in that position. So that is the first thing that I wanted to acknowledge today when I'm talking about this topic. And what this topic is going to entail today is that we women are the solution to most of the problems that we have. And the reason why I'm saying this is because we are the solution in terms of the relationships that we get in terms of the situations that we get in, and in terms of predicaments that we put ourselves into. So just stay with me. When you stay with me, I think you will begin to see exactly why I'm saying this. And today, the topic of this conversation is going to revolve around, and one of the things that I say is our daughters will never have a blissful and happy union or marriages if we today do not change the relationships that we have with our spouses, and if we do not change the relationship we have with our men. And when I say the relationship we have with our men, I am not only talking about our spouses, I am also talking about our brothers, I am talking about the relationships with our own sons, I am talking about the relationship with chairman, and relationship with anybody that is a male counterpart. And until we women change our relationships that we have with the men in our lives, not only our spouses, but also also our sons, our daughters will never have a blissful union. And the reason why I am saying this, because the problems that happen in most cases, we women are a catalyst to it. And the reason why I am saying this, because the relationship that you have with your man, it's very important. It's a prerequisite. The kind of relationship your daughters will also have with other men that are going to be in their lives. And you're going to understand why I'm saying the things that I'm saying. And you will also begin to understand that today we have to change. I'm in a tunnel, so that's why it's getting a little dark, but it's okay. Why it is very, very important for us today to change the relationship that we have, first with ourselves, and second of all, change the relationship with our sons, change the relationship with our spouses, change the relationship with our own brothers, and that is going to help them be the men that they need to be tomorrow in the relationships that they have. So here you are, this woman is calling me and talking to me, and she's the one that told me, Kumba, this is an aha moment, and you have to share this in the Car Chronicles. She called me up, and she called me up really frazzled, really frantic and frazzled. And she was talking to me about an issue. And she was telling me how, things have been really horrible with her relationship with her spouse. And how she feels like there is no compassion in her marriage. How she feels like her husband doesn't listen. And how she feels like her husband does not treat her the way she deserves to be treated. And she said, Kumba, the most terrible thing is my mother-in-law condones this. And the most terrible thing, my mother-in-law is not helping me, be this woman in my marriage that I'm empowered. I listened to her. She was talking about a lot of things. She was complaining. She was talking about how unhappy she was. And she was telling me how she has lost her voice in her own marriage and felt like her mother-in-law actually gained the voice that she lost. And as I was sitting here listening to her talk about her feelings, talk about how hurt she was, and going on and on and on, and the whole time to help my composure, I was listening with so much depth. I gave her all my ears, and when I felt like she was done, and it took her an hour to be done talking about all these things, and finally after 1 hour of listening to her, and people that know me know this about me, if you are actually asking for my opinion about something, I will tell you what my opinion is. And one of the things that people that know me, that I talk to, I don't like to have people stay in a victim mode. I'm always the kind of person that when I talk to you, it has to be solution driven, not more so feel sorry for you and go, oh my God, your mother-in-law is terrible. I cannot believe she's treating you this way. Oh my God, your life is terrible. Oh my God, I feel sorry for you. No, I don't approach life like that. And I never, when I talk to people, I don't want people to feel like they're victims. I want people to take back their power. And one of the ways that we can do that, to have people take back their power, is tell them the truth about what you're hearing. I will never tell you what you want to hear. I will never want to make you feel like you're a victim. So as I was listening to her, talking about all these issues, about how she lost her voice, and how her husband is not compassionate, how her husband doesn't have empathy for her, and how her husband really is not very helpful around the house, and expects and how her husband treat himself like he's the king of the household, and she can't do anything about it. I said to her, I looked at her in my most serious face, and I said, your problem is not going to be solved. And you should see her when I said to her, your problem is not going to be solved. I mean, she just looked at me and go, huh? Because she wasn't expecting that. I said, I want you to listen to me. Because what I am telling you, I've listened to you, and I've had the time to listen to you over and over and over again. This is not the first time that we've had this conversation. This is not the second time we've had this conversation. This is also not going to be the last time we're going to have this conversation. I said, you are not the problem. The society that you live in is the problem. I said, your husband was not raised to be a compassionate man. Your husband was never raised to give women empathy. Your husband was never raised in a society or in a household where a woman had a voice. And I said, your mother-in-law doesn't know better, because she also had a damaged relationship with the man that was in her life, and that was your father-in-law. And because she doesn't know any better, and because she lost her voice in her marriage, and all of a sudden he has a son, and the son gave her the voice, and all the while that he was married to your father-in-law, she never had a voice. she was damaged. She was not allowed to represent herself. She was also not allowed, you know, the man did not treat her like she was the center of his world. And this woman lived in a damaged situation. So here you are another woman coming into the picture. Your mother-in-law, all of a sudden, your husband gave your mother-in-law voice. And your mother-in-law is so loving that voice that she has. That voice means so much to her. And finally, she's able to control something in her life, which is the son. And the son is confusing because what the son have seen, his mother went through. And he was really also, he couldn't do anything about it. So all of a sudden now, he's old enough to give his mother all the love, all the attention that his mother never got from his husband. So all of a sudden, his son said, I owe my mother everything because my mom struggled. Because my mom, my father never gave my mother the voice. Also never gave her love, never gave her things, never bought her clothes, never did something. My mom was always unhappy. Now it is my responsibility to make my mother happy. And so any jigen bo xamne da ngay ñew suma yaay soxlé nga ñaka, because my mother is the one who struggled, and not realizing that the relationship that you have with your mother and the relationship that you have with your wife is totally different. There is no comparison. It's not even the same. So here, your mother-in-law has this relationship with your husband. I mean, the only thing that your mother doesn't do, with mother-in-law doesn't do with your husband, is sleep with your husband, because she cannot sleep with him. But apart from that, they have a great relationship. And it is her first before you. And also, because in that household, your husband was not also taught to be compassionate. And also, when you complain about the treatment that you're getting from your husband looks at you and said, who are you and your audacity? If my mother has gone through all this, who are you and do you think you're special? And if you went to your mother-in-law to give complaints about how your husband is not giving you a voice, how your husband is not being there for you, how your husband is not representing this and that, your mother-in-law is looking at you and going, who does she think she is? How dare she complains about that when I lived the same thing in my own marriage? And all of a sudden now I'm finding my voice. My son is giving me the voice. And this woman wants a voice. There cannot be two people with the same voice. So this woman here, who never had a voice with her own husband, now find a voice within his son. So now they have a relationship. Whatever his son does, she has to approve it. And everybody should rise up, and she's the queen, and everybody should salute her, including this woman who you're now married to, and this and everybody around is all about suma goro, and every time yinang ko yakal, yinang ko topato, yinang definitely so mere nyep mer, so lifine nyep yeko, and all that stuff. And this woman is abusing her power anyhow that she can, because she herself is damaged, because she doesn't know any better. So this is what happens when men are raised in households where the husband and the wife did not have a very healthy relationship with each other. So when I told her that your situation is not going to change, she was really flabbergasted, and she looked at me and said, wow, that's really harsh. And I also told her, I said, you know, you talk about men not having compassion. You talk about men not having this empathy for women, yirmande. And we hear it all the time right now. Dombo jigen mo gëna am yirmande, o jigeni ñoo gëna am yirmande, and all that stuff. It is because our men were never raised to love. It is because most of our men were never raised to have compassion. It is because most of our men never saw they never had also that kind of relationship with their fathers. A lot of them had that hi, assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam, because the men also were never present in their household. So most of the time, it was the women that were always there. And also men, a lot of things were not expected of our male sons too as well. So what they did, most of them, they played football. Most of them, jigeni were in the house. Jigeni ñoy balé, ñoy foot, ñoy def, ñoy nekk gori all the time. Suñ añé ba pare, ñu dem play football, ñu dem hang out sen hariji. Lolota, most of the time you also see men that have a household and they cannot stay together with their families. They are always campe accent frenzy. Always campe, always campe, always campe. Because these young boys were never raised to be at the household. Ngeen di bale ak jigéen yi, ngeen di raxas moto yi, ngeen di dimbale jigéen yi, ngeen am yërmande ci seen jigéen yi. Because the yërmande has to start within you and your sisters in the household. It has to start with you and your sisters and your mother in the household. But when you do not have compassion from there, when you do not have men loving their sisters, loving them to an extent, embracing them, hugging them, it is really hard for these men when they become husbands to also stay at home, to also not have a wandering eye. And also, if you have men also that were raised in household, yoo xam ne ñoom tamit seen papa yi dañ leen di gis su ñëwee añ du ñëwati ba reer jot. After bu ñu reeree am nañu góor yoo xam ne dañuy dem nekk ci mbedd bi ba 2-3 a.m. nga ñëw. When you raise sons in that kind of situation, these sons, in most cases, the cycle continues. So here we are having relationships, problems, and here you are, you got married to a man who never had compassion, compassion was taught to him, who never looked at women in a very respectful way, or looked at women as an equal partner, and look at women as very, very crucial in a household, and also look at women as being one of the most important pillars in a household. So what they do, they model what they have learned before. They don't know any better. And these men also, when you're having a conversation with them and you want to reach them, you want to talk to them, you are not able to reach them because also that was not cultivated in them when they were growing up. So when I told this my friend that your solution is not the problem, your solution is not going to be solved because this man was broken from long time ago, broken way before you met him because of his circumstances, because of where he came from, and because of the way he was raised. So that is the reason why when I say the solution lies within us women, lies within the relationship that we have with the men in our lives. And when I say the men in our lives, it's not only the spouses, but also our own sons and also our own brothers, because broken women, damaged women cannot also help other women to find their voice. Women that have never had a voice in their relationship, if God doesn't help them, also it's going to be very, very hard for them to even accept another woman that comes into a marriage, or even that is married to their sons, or that is married to their brother, to have a voice. Because what happened is, if they never had the voice, if they've never been happy in their relationship, it is very, very hard for them to see within their heart, to be happy for you, and also to help you grow and help you in the relationship that you are in. So when I told this woman that her solution is not going to be solved, because the man, until your husband revisit his past, until your husband also revisit his relationship with his mother, and realize that it was not his responsibility to save his mother, but it was his father's responsibility to be a father and also to be a good husband to his own mother. So until he revisits that, until he actually understands that the relationship that he has with you is very different from the relationship that he should have with his mother. Because if you see most of these men, the relationship they have with their mothers, the only thing that these men don't do is sleep with their mothers, because they cannot do that. It's haram. But apart from that, you say these mothers want, because they now have the power. They have the power within their sons, and they're loving that power. And what they will do, they hold on to that power. So their sons, before they do anything, it has to go through them. Before anything gets done, it goes through to them. And before your wife gets anything, it's her who gets whatever she gets, and then you get the residual. So that is the reason why when I told her, your problem is not going to be solved, because unless this man revisits his past, until this man goes to counseling, and how many of our men go to counseling to figure out that the past that they had and the relationship that they had with the men, the people in their lives, and revisit it and figure out the most healthiest relationship, so that they will be able to give their spouses, they'll be able to give their wife the relationship that a husband and wife deserves, according to, in the eyes of God. And the responsibility that you have with your mother is totally different. I cannot even tell you how important it is for men to realize, and also for women to really know, that the relationship that you have with your spouse or your wife is totally different from the relationship that you should have with your mother. When you are married to a woman, and this woman mu nekk jigéen joo xam ne soxna la, mu nekk jigéen joo xam ne jigéen ju baax la, mu nekk jigéen joo xam ne taxawu na la ci zahir, taxawu na la ci baatin, kilifa yu baax yu amoon xam-xam dañ ne jigéen jooju mun na laa ñaanal. Jigéen jooju noonu mun soo soxlee dara mun ngaa wax ak moom. Su fekkee ne sa yaay sax neew fa, jigéen ji mun naa nekk ak yow, nekk sa yaay, nekk sa lépp. But then again, the relationship again that you have with your mother should be totally different than the relationship that you have with your wife. Totally different. And this has nothing to say that you don't honor your mother. Yes, you honor your mother, because a good man honors his mother. A good man takes care of his mother. But you should not be in a position to compare and even put the same level, the relationship with your wife and the relationship with your mother. And now, if you do not change this relationship that you have with this woman in your life or the man in your life, what happens? You're raising sons that are seeing the same relationship being mirrored, and they themselves would also treat their wives the same way that your husband is treating you right now. So that's the reason why you raise your sons to be compassionate. You raise your sons to help you in the household, because when you do that, they will help the women that are in their lives. You raise your sons with love. You raise them with love, give them so much love, and expect them to embrace, hug, and all that stuff. so that they will be able to do that to with their wives. You also raise your sons to listen and not feel like they're superior, that men are more superior than women. You raise them to listen, and you raise them also to understand that the same in the eyes of God, men and women are not different in any way. The same respect that you expect from your daughters is the same amount of respect and love and care that you should expect from your sons. So these are very, very important things that I wanted to bring out, that I wanted to talk about. And also, we cannot look to our mothers-in-laws that are damaged as the solutions to our problems in a marriage, because those women are damaged as well. Those women need to heal as well. And women that are damaged, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not with them, they cannot help other women. They cannot empower you. They cannot give you a voice. They will look at you as a competition. They would look at you that, how dare she wants to have a voice when I never had a voice in my own marriage. Who does she think she is? And does she think she's special? And because women, when they're damaged, in most cases, they are not going to give a voice to other women, or going to welcome other women have a voice in their marriage. So this is the conversation that I wanted to bring. And that is why it's very, very important that when we are picking partners, we look at the whole dimension of the relationship these men have with their sisters, these men have with their mothers, and these men, most importantly, look at the relationship this man's father had with his wife. Because in most 9 out of 10, when this man that you're about to marry, when his father has a great relationship with his wife, in most cases, and when his wife is empowered, when his wife has a voice in the relationship, when his wife is a partner in life, because their children see that and it's manifested in the household, and that woman is given enough power that this woman does not want to take power from you. And this woman also wants another woman who's empowered to be the wife of her son. Also, this woman would want for his son a woman that's strong, would also want for his son, and this woman would also not meddle in the affairs of his son and the wife, because she understood she had a voice all along, and because she didn't need for her son to give her a voice, because she found her own voice, and her husband was a life partner with her. So when you look at partners, when you look at the men you are choosing in your life, also what I want you to do, look at their fathers, the relationship that their fathers have with the women in their lives, and look at how empowered your mother-in-law that to be is. Look at also how cultured your mother-in-law is, and look at how enough your mother-in-law feels. Because women that are enough, women who have been empowered in their marriages, women who have been empowered in the relationship, these women do not have a need to exert themselves in the relationships of their children. They actually in turn are the ones who will straighten their sons and make sure that their sons are men of honor, and make sure their sons will become great fathers, and make sure their sons will become great providers, and make sure their sons carry the legacy of their father, who was a great father, who was almost a feminist in the relationship, also who also empowered his wife, who understood and gave his wife the respect, the love, and the embrace. For other men that are not in this household, I'm not saying that you should not be in a relationship with them, but also for you to understand that as their wife, you also have a responsibility to help them. You also have a responsibility for some of these men, and to the men, if you're listening, most of you men would have to get counseling. I know counseling is something that in our society, it's frowned upon, but if you want to build yourself, if you want to be a great man, if you not even for your family, but for yourself, if you want to take on the responsibility that tomorrow you'll be asked for, get the help that you need so that you can be great for yourself, great for your family, great for your spouse, because a great man is the one who's able to achieve greatness in his life, who is able to make sure that he raises his sons and daughters to represent him tomorrow when he's not there, or to have a wife that whenever there's love in the household and there's greatness in the household, there's laughter in the household, this is manifested in the children, and these children tomorrow would have spouses and they will do the same thing, and the cycle continues, and the cycle continues. So this is the reason why today I am saying that the solution lies within us women, and until we change the relationship that we have with our men, and this is our sons, this is our spouses, and this is also our own brothers, if we don't change the relationship we have with the men in our life, our daughters will never have a blissful and happy marriage. I hope you guys have a fantastic Sunday, and again, I want to thank everybody that is on this podcast. I want to thank you all for sharing this moment, and also I want to thank my sister who I had this conversation with, I had this aha moment and called me and said, Kumba, you are so right. You have to share this on Car Chronicles, because I just realized after I talked to you for 3 days of thinking about this and thinking about this, I cannot solve this problem until we get the help that we need, and also most importantly, my husband gets the help that he needs. So today, when we share these things, it's just because we don't want to come. We just don't want to come and to speak and for people to hear our voice. We hope that everything that we say here today is channeled through God, and to let you know that everything that we've said here today, if it is great, we package it and give it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If anything that is not up to par and it's not within the guidelines of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants, you know it is because of our lack of knowledge and also lack of wisdom, that every single day we try to be the best that we can, and every single day when we come to talk, we talk. I'm not an ustaz, I'm not a woman of God, but sometimes we know things, and even if it's one person that can benefit from it. This is not about, you know, people liking. This is not about having a presence, but this is almost like dawah, and anything that brings dawah. And if one person's life is changed, and even one person gets to like or have an aha moment in what we're doing, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this moment. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us the opportunity to speak our mind. And also I pray that women will have voices in their marriages. I pray that we will raise sons that will be exemplary. We'll raise men of honor. And because we're the ones that have to really also change with the relationship with the men in our lives. We have to change the relationship that we have with our sons. We also have to teach our sons to be men of honor. We also have to teach our sons to love women. We also have to teach our sons to cherish women. We also have to empower our daughters-in-law, because in reality, what we want for our own daughters, we have to also want for somebody's daughter, because most of the time karma is very real. And what you actually do to other people, it has a way of coming back into your life, has a way of coming back, and also being an innocent people in terms of your own daughters and all that stuff. So when we are bystander to watching people being marginalized, when we are bystander in seeing the pain of other women, we have to uprise and also deal with our own pain to make sure that this pain that other women do not also that does not manifest into the lives of other women. Just because we had pain in our marriages, just because our men did not treat us right, we should not condone our own sons also treating other women. And also we should not be the reasons if you even and also be responsible for other women's pain, and also the pain that you're going through in your own marriage. You also want the other women to feel pain. We have to stop the cycle. The pain, healing has to begin now, and all of us has to heal, because these children, these women are also are the ones that actually, they're the mothers of your nieces, they're the mothers of your nephews, they're also the mothers of your grandchildren. And tomorrow you want to raise children, you want to raise grandchildren, you want to be your nieces, and you want your sons to be exemplary people. So what we do today, we model that behavior. We model, and for those women who were damaged by their own husbands and that are trying to inflict pain on their mother and the son and daughters-in-law, today I ask you to look within yourself, to start the healing within yourself, and also heal. So that the way you can heal is try to help other women, try to help your daughter-in-law to heal, try to also make sure that your son is held accountable for the pain that your husband has given to you. You make sure that that pain stops. You make sure that your son treats his wife the way he needs to treat him, so that your son is happy, has a blissful marriage, has a life that is some. He's able to do more things for you. What good is a man who's damaged to you? What is good if your son is damaged to you? You want to make sure that your son is whole, that tomorrow if your son stands in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will be asked every responsibility as a husband. He will be asked every responsibility as a father. So for that reason, let us help our sons be the best man they can. Let us help our sons raise exemplary children. Let us help our sons also make women happy, so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will continue to bring blessings into their homes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring blessings into their own lives, because when your son has a blessing in his own lives, he's able to do more for you. He's able to do more for his community. He's able to do more for his society. And when your son also has a very, very tranquil mind, and also his home is blissful, his home is happy, he's able to be the man that he needs to be, so that he can be the best of society. So let us look beyond ourselves. Let us look beyond what we want. Let us be healed from this damage that has happened to us, that other men has inflicted on us. Let us stop the cycle today. Let's stop the cycle today, so that other women will not be in pain. What you have gone through in your life, in your marriage, stop the cycle today, so that your sons do not have to inflict the same pain on other women, so that your sons will also heal, so that your sons will be men of honor, so that your sons will be the great men of society, so that your sons will do what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expects of them, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless them, and the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be onto them, so that tomorrow also you as the mother-in-law, when you stand up in front of God, you will be accountable for every single one of deeds that you have done, both for your son and also for your children and for your daughter-in-law. Love your daughter-in-law, and your daughters-in-law will be inspired by that love to give it to you, will be inspired, and they'll be so happy to look at you as their mother, because how much you have stood up for them, how much you have been a pillar for them, and so that they also as well would also raise daughters. You will raise sons that would tomorrow be good husbands. They would also be good wives to the spouses. So this is how communities heal. So for some of you, again, I would like to say, for some of you that are blessed with mothers-in-laws and sister-in-laws that are really fantastic, I say congratulations to you, and I say in appreciation with you, and may I just want to bless these people for the kindness that they continue to show to you, for the love that they continue to show to you. For those of you who have not done a great job, I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will come into your life. I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will also bless you in your life and heal you, so that you'll be able to also give to other people what has not been given to you. So blessings to all of you. So for everyone who's listening to this podcast, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be with you. And you're having any problems with your marriage, with your life, with your relationships, with whoever you're having a relationship, I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will heal that today. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put peace into the hearts of every single one of you, so that we'll see the light. The light is that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Know that adinabi darajaru kofi adinabi niro ngaya darajaru kofi. This world is very short. It's very short. So peace and blessings to all the kind and wonderful people that are making a difference in people's lives, and that are seeing that and living by example. I say thank you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for bringing great people in our lives, and even for not so great people, we also, the lessons that we learn from these people, so that we will be great people. And every single day when I come to this podcast, yene mo tax mak ñew ak society bu baax, ak man sama bop, the healing that it needs to do, because I believe that every single one of us, every single day, every one of us have demons inside of us, and every single day that we come, that we acknowledge those demons, that we work on being better in our lives, we work on meddling and championing those challenges that we have in our lives, and also to be able to speak on those issues, and also to be able to help other women heal, and also to see your other people heal, and you give them sutura, but at the same time, the same issues that people are going through, other people are going through it. And thank you to this wonderful woman for telling me and also saying that this has to be on Crack Chronicles. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala heal you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help you. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help your husband see the light, so that he will be able to also represent and be the man of honor, be the man that God expects him to do. And one of the things I want to remind every single one of you, the institution of marriage is one of the greatest institutions and one of the most honorable institutions that God honors, and one of the greatest institutions that God puts to the highest in esteem. That's the reason why you said part of your religion, part of actually your deen, your relationship that you have with your spouse, and the institution of marriage, because children are born from this marriage, societies are born from this marriage. So that's why it's very important for the relationship that you have with your spouse, for the relationship that you have with the woman in your life, for the relationship that you have with the man in your life, to be a great relationship, because you guys are raising the next society. You're raising the next generation. So today, I challenge myself, I challenge all of you today, that if you're listening to this, if you are actually in a challenging position, I challenge you today to look within yourself, look at the demons inside of you, and try to be the best person that you can for your children, for society, and look at that you are a small pie in a big pie, and you have a huge responsibility. To the men, we're asking for compassion. We know you went through a lot. We know you continue to go through a lot. But we are telling you, we're here. We want to support you. We want you to heal. We want you to do whatever we can, even if you continue, you getting the help that you need, you getting the counseling that you need to get back to being the man of honor, to being the man that you need to be. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. We ask for forgiveness and for all our shortcomings. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy and beneficence be unto you and be unto all of you. I love you. I'm wishing you all a fantastic Sunday. Always wishing you best wishes, and may the love and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be in your heart and in your home and in your life. Assalamu alaikum again wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu.